Hello, and welcome back to Jack's Gay Chats. I told you in one of the videos I was going to introduce you to my husband, Doug Cleaver. And here he is.
Hi.
We met on January 20th, 1992, which makes this coming January 20th our 30th anniversary.
Can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting how we met. Maybe more to Doug than to me because he had a partner for how many years?
15.
15 years who passed away shortly before we met. And I was single for 12 years before we met. So I was using personal ads to meet people for friends, non-sexual friends, and sexual friends, and just sex. And I put an ad in one of the gay papers, which is a sex ad, and that's all we're going to tell you about that part. And Doug responded, and per instructions, he sent me his picture. My God, did I look out?
We exchanged pictures.
Did I send you one back?
Yeah. You sent me a picture of you in your backyard taken at least 10 years ago.
What did you think when you first met me?
Oh, well, I was glad. You're a macho. I like macho types. He had a mustache and was tough.
Well, I thought I was meeting Doug for a sexual rendezvous. And I thought, well, if this is all it is a sexual relationship, I'm okay with that. I like people who are a little bit smaller than I am. I like people who are different than I am. I like the fact that he is Canadian.
So going back actually to when we first met, my previous partner, who I'd been with for 15 years, passed away, and I went home to Canada for about a month with the family and just stayed there. And then I came back here in the new year and decided I wanted to meet people, maybe dating, maybe getting too romantically involved. So I looked in some of the ads and some of the magazines, and that's where Jack's ad was. So meeting him first, I was kind of not looking to get a long-term relationship immediately right away. I was looking more for just
fun.
Connection and friends and just to get on my feet again. So I was kind of unsure of what I really wanted, but it was a start. It was a good start, and so that's how I met Jack. And then I found out later, after we got together, that Jack had been one of the caregivers,
hospital visitors at St. Mary's,
where my partner was passing away in the hospital. Jack was a volunteer for a hospital visitation service to come in and cheer up the yeah. And I guess to cut to the chase, he died of AIDS, and you were one of the AIDS workers. But it's funny, we both remember we did meet each other before we met each other.
We both owned our own houses, so that implies we're financially stable people.
And we lived pretty near each other.
Yes.
So we could see each other within 10 or 15 minutes.
I had a lot of experience with people who were not very stable. Sometimes they were not employed. And I'm not putting those people down, but Doug was and is a very substantial person. He was a professional architect. I was a businessman. I owned my own business, small business. What did you think, like, when you first came over to my house?
Well, the first night was when you came over to my house.
Yes, I remember.
Testing memories.
But what did you think when you came to my house?
I liked it, and it suited you. It was the type of house I pictured you in.
It was the right house for me. That's the way I say it.
I found it interesting that you owned your own business and you were operating it out of your garage, and you built it up from your own invention ideas that from a music supply company you built from your inventions, and that was very interesting. And I was a bit musical. I played the piano, so I could identify with some of your inventions. So there was a lot of common things, I think, right off the bat.
When you're sexually attractive and you want to and you want to go naturally beyond that and find about common interests, we had a lot of core values. You know, we both had investment accounts. I think you more than I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were, substantial age that we had some savings.
I had some bad experiences about people walking out on me in my relationships, and I don't know why. I guess people are just not ready, you know. I don't blame anybody, but when I met Doug, I thought, well, he better not walk out on me, because I was attached to him hook, line, and sinker. And you know, the older we get, you know, the closer I am to you. I mean, we're both more vulnerable. We both need to have patience. You know, we both have some disabilities. We have to.
Well, over the years, I guess you test the boundaries and find out what you like and what you don't.
Yeah, we had similar interests in vacations.
Yeah, we sort of wanted to go to places that neither of us had been.
Yes.
I remember that. Because we had both been to the usual places, but we hadn't been to a lot of places, in the Caribbean especially. So a lot of our trips initially were the Caribbean.
And the first one was Cancun?
Yeah.
So we went there in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
It was very Americanized. I mean, that's one of the few cities you can actually drink the water.
That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
I don't like roughing it.
Speaking of roughing it, like we went camping a few times, and my idea of camping is you bring a tent, a lantern, a cook stove, and a little ice chest to keep meat in, and you live that way. His idea of camping
It's the Hilton.
is to go to the closest hotel.
Not really. Because as a kid, my parents took me camping. They had a trailer. We had a tent for a while.
Yeah.
We went.
Yeah. I'm curious, because I never really asked you. What did your parents think of me? What did they say? Ooh, uh-oh, watch that guy, Doug.
No warnings. No warnings. Well, they already knew I was gay, of course, because of my other relationship. They knew that we had a relationship, and they were there aware that he had passed away, and they knew his parents, and they were friends with his parents, and so by then, all that had been paved for. That roadway had been paved for me. It was all settled, and so they knew that I was seeing you, and must have been dating you.
Yeah.
But I think what they liked about you was that you owned your own business, and the coffee tavern they found really interesting.
Yeah.
I think later we took them over to your coffee tavern, and
Yes.
they really were impressed.
Yes. I don't know the occasion where you weren't there, but your parents came to the coffee tavern.
I was probably working.
Maybe you were, okay, you're probably working. And we sat down and said everything about you.
Uh-oh. All the bad came out.
And your mom is, oh dear. Oh dear. I'm just kidding.
She would be like that.
You know, even now, I relate more to his family than I do to my own family.
You've had trouble with your family over the years.
Over the years, yes.
You're a bit of an instigator.
We're not close, and I don't really know why. But I sort of put that behind me, because your family, your aunts and uncles are very gracious to me, and I really appreciate that. It's like a second home. I really appreciate that. You know, some people ask, how did we stay together for this 30 years? I think it's because we have a lot of common core values. We're going in the same direction.
Mm-hmm, a lot of similar.
You know, we enjoy the same things, and Doug is one of the most agreeable people you will ever meet.
I don't like turbulence. I like a smooth sea. I don't like fighting.
Well, we don't fight.
We don't, so that's why.
and you know, Doug jokes about this, but in our 30 years, we haven't had a fight I mean, we never raised our voices at each other. We disagree on some things, you know. You got to cut that part out.
We've had some disagreements.
Except right now, when have you ever disagreed?
Minor.
I remember.
Now how
I remember,
put that in.
couples, people that were very dear to me, and they would they were angry at each other. It was awful to watch.
I don't call that a disagreement. I call that war.
Yeah, it's just really sad, and we've never done that. I think that's one of the reasons. I think maybe because we're more mature. Like I said, he was late 30s, I was early 40s. So, and we also had other experiences, in dating people and relationships. So we kind of knew where all the bullshit was, and it wasn't very important. So I mean, even now, I can't think of anything that we really disagree on.
I guess we've ironed it out by now. And if there is something, we just let it go.
Or we talk about
if
it.
someone wants to do something the other one doesn't, okay, watch that horror show. I'll go play on the computer, But you wouldn't do that. We would work it out differently.
We would talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And now even documentaries, because we don't feel like traveling, 18 hours on a plane. So maybe we'll look at that country in a documentary.
Yeah.
Which is a real sign of getting older. But too bad.
What would you say to people? Let's say people in their 20s kind of connect, and they're having trouble connecting or having a stable relationship. What would you think to talk to them about?
Well, just be reasonable and think about what the other person wants. And if they want something that you don't, maybe find a way that they can have some of that and, give and take. And maybe you can have something, a little bit of that you want that they don't. Yeah. And then hopefully most of the things you'll agree on and want to have together.
Yeah, two people don't have to do the same things and be the same person.
All the time, no.
No. And, so in a partnership, one person I might like stamp collecting, which I do. He might like to go to musicals, which he does. So you have to give each person has to give the other the freedom and the space to do things that are important to them. So if you love somebody and trust somebody, there's no reason to be jealous. I mean, Doug will take vacations, when he wants to. Sometimes I'm not feeling well enough to go. I'm disabled in a way. And I think that's great. I think he should be able to do whatever he wants to do. Yes. And of course, he sees his parents a lot in Canada when I've been there a few times, but I can't always go. And my job is to stay home and take care of the kitty cats, which I'm okay with. I don't have any concerns about Doug, and I certainly trust him. And
you've been out to Palm Springs on your own to see your friends sometimes.
Yeah.
It all works out.
Yeah. One area of concern with a lot of couples is finance. Now, when Doug and I got together, early on, we didn't spend that much time. I mean, we didn't know each other that well for the first 6 months or so. And even when we became a couple, we kept our finances separate. And it wasn't until the year 2000.
We were living together.
Yeah, 2000.
For 7 years, we were dating in different homes. And then after 7 years, we bought a home together. And then we sort of changed our finance situation because we had a household.
So the way we work it is Doug has his accounts, his bank, savings, and investments. I have my bank, savings, and investments. And then we have a joint checking account where when we're going to pay the utilities, the HOA fees,
all the household expenses, the food, the
all that stuff.
We don't split hairs with food in the fridge. This is your side or my side. We buy what we want and eat it and don't care and just split the bill in half.
Right. But even so, saying that was about the time I'm listed on all of your accounts as a joint account.
Right.
And you're listed on all of my accounts.
As
So
beneficiary.
yeah, and anytime you want to
Should
rob
anything
me
happen.
and
Yeah,
take all
so
my money
it's-
out, you have the ability
Yeah.
to do it.
It's all going to be the same anyhow, the way we've worked it out. So it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. But, initially in a relationship, dealing with money, maybe one person has a much bigger income than the other person. You have to work it out. You have to talk about it. Don't keep secrets. You have to talk about it. You have to allow the emotional space for each person to be fulfilled and happy. And there's no formula. You have to just work it out. You have to talk it out. If your relationship is important to you, you can find a way that the relationship is agreeable and fair. So that's the best advice I can give.
I think so.
Yeah.
Another area is probably like household chores, who does what, so nobody feels like they're putting more into it than the other. And so we sort of split them up as to who does one thing better than the other. And Jack, all along, was more into cooking than I was. His mother wasn't around when he was a kid, and he had to do the cooking for the whole family. Back to chores, though, he likes to do a lot of the cooking. So I said, okay, you cook, and I'll clean up afterwards. So that's kind of the trade-off there.
Yeah.
And other things throughout the never we work out that way also.
Yeah.
We have a lot in common and do a lot of common and never
Yeah.
fight, but we have a lot of we're all opposites in many ways.
Yeah.
Especially when I first met you, I was really aware of it. You liked your living room all to be closed off with drapes, heavy, dark velvet drapes, dark and closed, no light. And I was living in a condo overlooking the whole city with wide windows, and I loved all the sunlight coming in and the view I could see for miles. And I thought that's completely opposite to what you liked. And there's other things, hot and cold. You like to be cold, I like to be warm. And on weekends, I would like to sleep in till 8 or 9 or something.
And when we
Not
would go
nine.
on trips someplace, usually for a week at a time, he would be very accommodating in getting up early and going to breakfast with me.
At 6 in the morning on vacation,
Yes.
we'd have to get up for coffee. How many people do that on their vacation?
Yes, for their sweetheart. And with that, this January 20th will be our 30th anniversary, and we need to party. COVID or not, we need to party.
Well, we'll do something.
We'll have
know what
people
yet.
over. We'll do something. So we'll be doing more videos talking about various gay issues, and I appreciate your watching, and thank you for tuning in.